What is up, YouTube? This is your girl Ash. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm under my blanket because it's cold and I actually don't feel good. Um, so I kind of wanted to get on and really just get into really speaking my truth. As stated, I'm going through a grieving process. Um, Basically, I I'm in a state of depression and it's bothered me to a point where I don't want to work, where I don't want to really eat, get out of bed, things of that nature. Really doing anything. And excuse me, I'm tired. But I don't get to sleep. So that makes me, you know, a lot of tired often. Um people don't like to really talk about mental illness. They don't like to discuss it. It's a numbing topic for people, and I feel like it's right for me to express and you know voice. I'll say voice, express voice, same thing, but really give my input based off of going through it. You know, excuse me. First thing people want to assume is you're going through depression or some type of anxiety or whatever, and they assume that you are bipolar or they assume that you have no common sense or things of that nature, and that's not the case. I have all of the common sense. I just I've gotten to this point where I don't really just I don't I'm trying to learn navigate what life is now without my mom. And your mom is just starting point. She births you, you know what I mean? Like she gets you here to earth and nurtures you out throughout your life. And unfortunately, I've only gotten to have her for 35 of my years. So 35 and a half. I was getting ready to be 36 anyway. So I am now 36 and I don't know. It's hard. It really is hard. But I wanted to get on here and, share that there is no time for grief. There is no time for your healing. And I wanted to actually allow myself to be some type of help and motivation to you all. I don't know what your circumstance may be, but I feel like if you can see someone else navigate what their new reality is, what their new normal is, maybe that'll be inspirational and helpful for you. So I want you all to come on a journey with me. I want to have a journey where I am healing mentally, physically, emotionally, and in some ways financially. I want to be able to have an impact on someone, to be helpful to someone. Everybody handles, like I said, handles grief differently. And I want to, not kind of, I want to use my situation as a way. Sorry. Whew, I'm tired. I want to use my situation as a way of encouraging someone, of uplifting someone, of giving someone some hope because that's what's wrong. And we don't have much hope in anything anymore, especially nowadays. And loss can cause you to become hopeless. And I want to try to prevent that to the best of my ability. I don't. Some days are worse than others. Yesterday and excuse me, earlier today, I was having some crying fits, and they happen, and they're going to happen. I'm only 4 months in, and they're gonna happen. And it's just like it's a wow factor. You never, you know. Okay, put it like this: I lost my sister to murder, and she's been gone now 10 years. I thought that that was the most devastating death that I can go through. Then to lose my grandma. Hey, whew, sorry. My grandma in the span of 3 days, I watched her, even being unconscious, still fighting for her life. I still watched her do so and held her hand. in that entire process. And once I was at that hospital, I never left. And the crazy part is doing the same thing for my mom. I was able to see her officially, like I told you in the previous video, August 25th. And from the 25th through the 1st, I would come home, yes, but I was always back at the hospital, or I was there when they let us start to see her. I was always there, and I watched her those days fight for her life. And these are two women that raised me, that molded me, that grew me into the woman that I am today. And to watch both of them fight for their lives in ways that I would never know if I can even do the same, to be honest. And that takes a lot out of you. It definitely does. You always think, okay, since I've handled this type of death or this type of situation, there's nothing that I can't handle now. Well, that's a lie. I am not dealing 100% well with my mother's passing. I do feel like it will make me stronger, but right now it's not there. I'm not even gonna lie and say that it is. And that's myself. That's my truth. That's my acknowledgement that I'm not there yet, and I'm not going to be there yet. I can't just bypass what has happened and move on. And you know what, that bothers me a lot of times leading up to a person's passing and their official passing, going through the funeral process and everything. Everybody calls, they check in, they want to know the details of the funeral so they can be there, so they can get an obituary to take to their job for their reason of having that day off. But there's something that happens after that casket closes. Everybody just walks away and goes on about with their lives and forgets that there's a process. They forget the children. They forget the sisters. They forget the brothers. They forget the mothers. They forget those that are actually really enduring that loss wholeheartedly. And they move on. Some of us can't just move on that way. Myself included. My sister included. And I get it. Everybody has to go on with their lives, and I've been able to go on with mine. But it's hard some days. Some days I don't want to do anything. Some days I don't want to, if I'm honest, even exist. But I fight through it still with a smile on my face. And I can count how many times on one hand since my mama's passed that somebody's called or texted me and said, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you coping?" Yeah, they'll say, "Well, eventually it gets easier," or and the whole "call me if you ever need me." Is that really something I can do? Because if that's the case, there's times I'm up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and don't get back to sleep. There's times where I don't sleep all night. I get into bed with the intent to go to sleep, and it never happens. Can I really call on you? And that's for anybody that's actually going through a process of grieving. Can you really call those people that said, "Hey, if you need me, call me"? How true is it? How true a statement is it? Somebody ain't gonna like that, but oh well. I'm speaking from experience because I don't get many calls. Everybody, of course, called leading up to her funeral. Where will it be at? What time? Things of that nature. I wish I could be there, but since it's on a weekday, I have to work. Da 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 da. And I get it. I get it. But I think those same people that were doing all that calling in forgot that she still has two daughters that she left behind that are trying to now navigate life without their mama. Everybody says, okay, you get used to it, or you get to a point where you do whatever. Yeah, that may be true, but right now that's not the case. I go through anxiety daily. I cry daily, and I'm going through a mental battle daily. Depression, excuse me, severe depression and severe PTSD have been holding me down. I had developed PTSD originally when my sister was killed 10 years ago. That whole duration, that story, I'll go into another time. But it's like it 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 enhanced because I literally was able to. I could say that I've sat with two women that raised me, and I watched. I went through the process of seeing them leave their bodies and having this hard feeling of not being able to walk away when it was over. For my grandma, I think me and my mama, my sister, And the people that were still there with us after we were still there, maybe we were still sitting there with her body even maybe an hour after, because it was the idea we couldn't walk away yet. And when my mom passed, I think it was about another hour or two before we can actually leave. It got hard. It's like, okay, physically we can tell she's not here, but we can't leave the body, because the body, the living form of this person, is all we know. And to not have that anymore is, it's hurtful. And that's to anybody. If you lost a father, a sister, a cousin, a best friend, whomever, check on the people that say that yes, they're okay, and yeah, and they may be okay. I'm not gonna say nobody's. I'm not gonna say they're not okay. I'm not gonna say they won't be okay. I'm not gonna say that I won't be okay. Right now, I can admit that I'm not. I can admit that I am in a place where I don't know. I have to read. I have to now relearn myself, and I have to get to this point of finding another comfort. And I know it's only God that's got me so far to where I am, because I have so many thoughts running through my head on so many different things that could have been done differently. I think about that all the time, and it has not. Those thoughts have not left yet. In time, maybe yes, but I'm also working on a book that I'm hoping will be a relief and release for me, emotional release, and hopefully, like I said, to be able to use my story, to my mom's story, our family story, to encourage and uplift someone else. It's a journey, and it's a journey to becoming a new me, a new version of myself. The old me, she's gone. She is long gone, and like I've told a lot of people that are close to me, like I don't know if I can. I don't know if I could take anything else. I really don't. I'm not even gonna say that I can. I pride myself on being strong. I pride myself on being able to do and take so much. But my mom was my strength. She's the one that I went to when I needed answers. So I'm hoping that you all come on this journey with me, and that it also is helping you as well. I'm hoping that we can help each other, in this process. Um, I would, I would just like to, yes, share my journey with you. And if I can't do anything else, I want to be an inspiration. Because yes, I want to quit, but I know I can't. And like I said, I know she was my strength, but in this moment, I can admit she's also my weakness. You only get one mama. So if you still have yours, sorry, if you still have yours, hold on to her and love her a lot harder. Because when you don't, it'll hurt like hell. So I want you to go on this journey with me, and I'm hoping that it's uplifting and inspiring. I'm gonna get off of here now because